If I'm right, Jesus is the image of God. If you see Jesus, you have seen God. You don't need to look for God. And that's why if you go to heaven now, you will not see God seated. You will see the man Jesus seated. He said, what do you mean? Hebrew chapter 1. Let's look at verse 1 into 3 quickly. Hebrew 1. God, who at sundry times and in diverse manner spake in the time past unto the fathers by a prophet. 2. Has in these days, has this last day spoken unto us by his Son, whom he had appointed. When people go about looking for prophet to speak to them, you are in a big error. God does not need to use prophet to speak to you now. God has spoken to you and continue to speak to you through his Son. He said, had in these last days spoken unto us by his Son, whom he had appointed head of all things, by whom also he made the world. Jesus is the head of all things. Does it mean prophets will not speak? Of course. But don't go about looking for who to prophesy over you. If you are where they will prophesy to you, fine. If eventually you are invited, or eventually the word of knowledge, the prophecy, fine. But that I just don't opinion. I want to know what they do. You go here. Show me one here. You go here now. You go here, tire. If you don't want to create more problem, stay with Jesus, the author and finisher. Look at what he said. The next verse 3. Come on, daughter. He said, who being the brightness of his glory and the express image of his person. Jesus is the express image of God. John chapter 14, verse 7. Jesus is the express. So when you are looking for God, look for Jesus. If you bypass Jesus to look for God, you will meet another thing. I don't care what anybody thinks. I don't owe any apology to it. Outside Jesus, you don't have God. Outside Jesus, there is no God. God, who was in the light that nobody could approach all this one, nobody has seen him before, decided to manifest himself in the person of Jesus. Outside Jesus, there is no God. Jesus is the replica of God, is the manifestation of God in the human form. When Jesus moved, God was the one moving. When Jesus was healing, God was the one healing. Whoever Jesus is who God is. If Jesus didn't kill, God doesn't kill. If Jesus loved, God is love. Even when they caught that woman in adultery, and Moses said they should kill him, wicked Moses. But the mistake they made was to bring her before mercy, because Jesus was the mercy of God in the physical form. Jesus is the love of God in the human form. Jesus is the grace of God in the human form. If they have stoned the woman, no problem. But bringing her to mercy, mercy now spoke and said, if you know that you don't need my mercy, that you have not done anything that deserve death or that deserve punishment, be the first to cast stone. All of them just drop it. Okay, we don't leave her for you. Because